Hi Bert, how are you?
Hello, Maj.
Hey, it's great to have you here at the Leading Age Annual Conference. It's been close to 2 years now for you at the Leading Age as Senior Vice President of Business Development. What can you tell us from your experience seeing and dealing with some of the sponsors? What can you tell us about how Leading Age is engaging with these sponsors, especially the ones that have a technology offering? Are you seeing getting more and more engaged, less engaged? Are you seeing an increasing number of these kinds of sponsors? And what's your take on that?
Yeah, I see it a lot more because there's, more and more resources that are fueled from technology these days, and there's a lot of this work that's being put into fields like ours. And so, we see a lot of these different companies that are based in technology that have already been sponsors and are coming here to really showcase how they can help with these, with our members. And the thing that I really find fascinating is that all of these sponsors that we have and all these business solutions that come here are very dedicated to the field, and they really are providing real-time, instant solutions to a lot of these problems.
Yep.
And it's amazing how a lot of these things are very much on the cutting edge. And I think that there's more and more that are coming here because this is the way that our world's gravitating towards. So, the engagement from a lot of the technology company are highly engaged. They are very creative and looking at a lot of different ways for us to showcase a lot of the work that they're doing.
Right.
And a lot of that is through the CAS team.
Thank you. Yeah. No, I totally understand. But even some of the traditional service companies, with the reliance on technology, I think they're finding themselves becoming, in a way, using technology a lot to the extent where they can think of themselves as technology companies this day and age, right?
Oh, yeah.
Are you seeing that as well?
There was a resistance about 10 years ago of people really adopting technology, and then so many people had to start playing catch up. And I think a lot of people realized that if they didn't start infusing technology to either improve, to help, or to address problems, that they were going to eventually have to play catch up. So a lot of these companies that are able to give our members solutions right now, I think they've already accepted the mindset that they need to infuse technology into their business operations. And I think that the more kind of expansive that we're seeing some of these tools get, like the in-home kind of voice-activated products,
Right.
and a lot of the GPS tracking tools. I mean, they're just coming up with a lot of very good real-world solutions, and so I think that it's just some people are looking to stay ahead of the curve, and that's the ones that I'm really interested in. And that would be the question I would have for you, Maj, is as we see a lot of these companies already where they're providing these solutions that are infused with a lot of technology that are currently available. We all have GPS on our phone, et cetera, et cetera. Where do you see the kind of new realm of technology solutions coming from?
From my vantage point, I'm seeing a lot of technology companies, technology solutions. But my observation is that with healthcare and aging services and caring for the older adults, especially, healthcare is number one local. Healthcare, unlike any other sector, it's really built on a trust and the reputation of the provider in the community. And it's not easy to disrupt this segment. I've seen several technology solutions, for example, apps that connect a home caregiver directly to a consumer or an older adult with care needs. And we've seen a couple of these even in the last few months, despite the significant venture backing, go under. Simply because I think they're making a strategic mistake in trying to disrupt the market and go directly to consumer versus identifying aging service providers as strategic partners and as a channel to get to the consumers but with co-branding with the aging service provider, and if they do that, they actually would be helping the provider overcome shortage of caregivers. They would help the provider garner or be able to access additional or create additional revenue stream, which would be translated into better jobs and better pay for those caregivers, but at the same time leveraging the reputation of that provider to gain a share of the market and get a cut of that market because of the reputation that the provider built in the local community.
I gotcha. So there are two questions I've always wanted to ask you, right? So your reputation in the Leading Age family is very well known, and everyone has always respected all the work that's been produced out of CAST, and everyone who's worked with you, Maj, knows how passionate you are about this. What fuels that passion?
Well, I love what I'm doing, and I believe I love what I'm doing is because of the passion. But my passion for, I've always wanted to be an engineer, and I like being an engineer. But I found my passion in the aging services sector, as well as technologies for the disabled individuals, because of personal experiences. I have had aging parents. When my father passed away, I was starting to work with on the development of these technologies, and it was very disheartening for me to be working on cutting edge technologies, and for my mom not to be able to use some of these technologies. Similarly, my eldest brother is actually wheelchair bound. He's also a mechanical engineer. He had a spinal cord injury while working on an important national project in Damascus, Syria. A heavy piece of equipment fell on the legs of one of the workers, and he ran and jumped and tried to lift to help him, and he had a significant, severe disc that was unable to, the doctors were unable to fix, essentially, and he ended up in a wheelchair. So that's why I have a passion for these two groups and for any kind of technology solution that helps these two groups. And having started to work with some of the not-for-profits in the early development phases of my technology development phases while I was at the University of Virginia, I found sort of my calling in this. So it wasn't a very hard decision when Larry Minix sort of invited me to come on board CAST and lead the CAST program.
Well, I hope you know it does not shock me at all that your brother's an engineer as well. You know, I wouldn't be stunned if your children are all engineers as well, you know. So if you had a crystal ball, where will CAST be in 10 years? What do you want to see CAST become?
I want to see CAST become really a global resource. Some of the technology selection tools and the guidance tools that we have can be easily localized to other markets. And I see that as a significant opportunity for other countries and other associations involved in the Global Aging Network. I want to be, the reason why I want this is, again, some of the developing countries out there, they have much less resources, and I believe that they could use all the help that they can get, but at the same time, if they're aware and they start using some of these technologies, human sort of ingenuity and human passion for innovation, God knows what kind of innovative next generation of care delivery models that they may be able to come up with using some of these technologies that we in the developing world might be able to leverage and replicate. I'll give you an example where cell phones were sort of spread very quickly in rural parts of India and Africa before the landline technology made it through, and we've seen some areas in Africa have seen telemedicine applications before some parts of rural United States.
Well, I got to tell you that when I started here 2 years ago, the CAST team was one of the most impressive groups that I saw, and I've always enjoyed working with you immensely for a variety of reasons. I mean, you bring a unique set of skills. You are obviously a brilliant engineer. You stay on top of all the advocacy issues, all the emerging technologies. You also have a very entrepreneurial way of bringing people and companies together. And it's just, I think that there's a very bright future for CAST, and what you helped build there between the tools, the information that you provided. I mean, it's amazingly impressive. And that's when I went to the first CAST Commission meeting. I mean, it just blew me away. And this is when I then called my friend Sushil, and then he came to the next one, and it's just the amount of energy you have in the room, the type of people you have. You bring all the right people into the conversation, and I just think it's growing more and more. There was a company, Medtronic came by, and we were talking with them. They're blown away with what CAST is doing. I mean, it is.
That's great.
It is, and it's not just a very vital piece of Leading Age. It also is what sets Leading Age apart, in my mind, from a lot of other associations. Because it does show the proper amount of emphasis on technology, but not just from here is a service. There's a lot of advocacy pieces that have to be addressed with that. Right. And I think that our membership is benefiting wildly from the work of the CAST team and your leadership. And I just think that the more we expand that and the more we're able to help support it, we'll see great things happen.
Great. I appreciate all the support that you're giving, that you have given, and look forward to continuing this journey with you.
Yeah, as long as I'm still an unofficial member of CAST. Or official. I'll take official.
Excellent. We'll give you an official title.
I can dig it. I can
Thank
dig
you.
It.